Hello everyone, this is King Vector 11 and welcome to my last weekly rant or ramble topic of the week, featuring some numerous background updates that Rockstar has done to GTA Online in the previous days, and which ones are necessary and which ones concern me. Hope you guys do find this video informative. If you do leave a like, subscribe. If you want to check out my Twitch, I'll even put the link of that in the description below for those who wants to check out my latest weekly update videos or weekly update news. I will put all of them in the description below as well. Now without further ado, let's go over some background updates that Rockstar has done over, well, the previous couple of days. And trust me when I say some of these, quite frankly, concern me. So after the Bottom Dollar Bounties DLC has released in GTA Online, it came with patch notes that features hundreds of different fixes across numerous platforms, across numerous environments, as I'd like to call them, but I'm not going to go over those. That's like a huge list of, that's like 30 minutes of reading nonstop to go over and whatnot. So I'm going to go over some background updates that was featured especially by Tez2 on Twitter, starting off where day 1 on July 1st of background updates, it comes across these fixes starting off from top to bottom. They enhanced the variety of dispatch work by disabling the variant you launch, enabling you to explore new mission types. This I actually am okay with, considering the fact that you don't have the same exact dispatch work, the new vigilante missions, as I like to call it in GTA Online, where you have the same one repeating like 3 times in a row if it wanted to. It did get quite boring, and it was quite a good thing that Rockstar actually finally made a little patch over it, so that if you do, let's say, one mission where you have to kill the 3 cult leaders, the next time you try to do dispatch work, you will not have access to that mission again until you decide to complete another dispatch work that plays another job, in which that job will finally not. It's like the second consecutive job won't be the repeat, let's say, but you still have access to all of them. You just won't have the same one repeating like 5 minutes later after you complete the previous one. Let's just say it like that. They fixed another issue where players don't receive loot from paintings if they collected the safe cash first during the KO Perico heist, which concerns me to the fact that I'm surprised something like that it was even brought into the game to begin with, and I didn't even notice it myself, but it is what it is. I'm glad they fixed that finally before I even noticed it, because I swear I would have made a video on it really fast. I'm glad they fixed it though, and it concerns me to the fact that it actually happened to begin with upon the release of this DLC. Anyways, another issue they fixed, with tattoos overlapping between characters upon switching. How the hell did that happen? I have no idea, but I'm glad they fixed that. They fixed an issue with the delivery cutscene of bike shop deliveries showing the Hermes instead of the customer's bike. Why would they use a how could that even be a thing to mess up? How could you, what? I'm sorry, last time I checked the Hermes in GTA Online, it was not a bike, let alone a 2-wheel vehicle with no doors that you can fall off, that when you ran into a vehicle at 2 miles an hour. How the heck could a Hermes be messed up between that and a customer's bike? I'm concerned. I'm glad they fixed that though, but that concerns me. This issue that I brought up even in a separate video in which I've made a comment on it saying it was finally fixed, they have fixed an issue with incorrect positioning of the bail office entrances or blue markers. Now I made a video on it saying that you have a possibility where you completely cannot enter your bail office itself, and the only way to fix it is by entering the bail office garage that you had just right next door, in which if you enter that and left that, you will be able to enter your bail office itself properly through that marker once again, which was weird that that thing has existed to begin with, but they finally fixed it. So kudos to that. Another patch that they did, they patched a glitch that allowed players to unlock the stun rod, aka the shocker, early through modded jobs. Now, of course, this is a drip feed item that's not yet available in GTA Online. I can't even make a video on it myself because there are those who have even made links or videos on YouTube who claim to be leaking clickbaited content for the past 6 years, and they're shocked to find out that YouTube was given those channels a copyright strike on their channel for leaking content that's not yet publicly accessible, which obviously makes sense, and it quite concerns me why these people would complain that they're not allowed to leak confidential information up until now. But I guess so many people have brain fed themselves to the fact that if they're able to steal anything they want in GTA Online, that means they can steal even direct information from Rockstar's drip fed content if they wish. Somehow, I don't know how the hell that works. You guys need to touch grass for real. Anyways, that's not really a concern off of Rockstar's part beyond the fact that they finally fixed it, or patched it rather. It most concerns me to the fact that there are some out there who believe they can get away with leaking confidential information that has not been yet released to the public. That's something that concerns me. Anyways, moving on though, they patched player-created Ludendorff Cemetery survivals that enabled early access to drip feed content, which obviously, again, same case scenario. That's drip-fed content that is obviously not publicly accessible to the public as of yet, that Rockstar is planning on releasing later at the end of the year. So I'm being patient enough to wait for it, but there are those who just want to use these drip feed contents to make videos on just to get the most views, get more money on it. They don't deserve to be on YouTube if they're just there leaking confidential information, honestly. But that's my opinion on it. There are guys like me who are trying to be as fair as possible in giving information, making content on stuff that we have liable and accessible to us, who is working hard for stuff that we do on a daily, weekly basis. And then there's these guys who show up and say, hey, guess what, in 2025 there's gonna be a new flying Deluxo Mark II vehicle that shoots homing missiles and lasers players from across the map if it wanted to for a cost of $1,500 and kills everyone in sight. Yeah, okay, that's... okay, whatever, congratulations, hug a rainbow. Now this one that I've highlighted right here, I'm going to purposely skip and mention at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. And in the meanwhile, I'm going to go right over to the next one right after, which obviously makes sense for Rockstar to patch, as they usually try their best to do, but at the same time they fail within 12 hours afterwards. For some odd reason, they patched a workaround for an Avenger vehicle god mode glitch. A few days later, there was another background update shockingly made, where most of these address basically more drip feed content and whatnots that had to be fixed, where first of all, they disabled weapon components for weapons available as pickups in deathmatches to prevent early access to drip feed content, which of course includes the stun baton that we don't necessarily have accessible to us yet. So obviously we have to wait for this, and Rockstar wants us to wait for it legitimately as possible. So I mean, fair to that, I would very much safely say. So I'm okay with that. They fixed it. So you have people just, you know, having early access content and everyone's like, how'd you get that? And then it's like, oh, simple, I just I'm just a badass. Whatever the fuck reason they give. Another fix they did. They fixed CCTV camera issues in heists, such as players being detected despite wearing disguises. This happened to me on a frequent basis during Diamond Casino heists. I am glad that Rockstar finally took the consideration to fix this, and I'm pretty sure after this fix has been acknowledged and released to public, someone's getting fired from Rockstar Games. I can honestly say that right now. Another fix they did. They fixed an issue in the Claimable farm raid disorganized crime setup where no keycards or rewards are found after drilling the lockers. Hallelujah, they fixed that because that seems like a mess on its own. I'm grateful for that. They fixed an issue in the Union Depository contract from your auto shop. The planning work elevator key setup where players cannot stash the baller LE in a secluded area. How the hell did they manage to screw that up? That concerns me a lot, but I'm glad they fixed that. They fixed an issue where docking the Sparrow at an office helipad results in a duplicate remaining on the heli. How the fuck is that? How could that happen? They fixed an issue where unique tattoos disappear upon switching sessions, and Rockstar removed the previous fix for the tattoos overlapping between characters, in which this is likely unintentional as the two fixes should resolve the tattoo bugs. But here's the thing, Rockstar doesn't fix the code itself. What Rockstar does is play Jenga with their codes. Oh, if code A doesn't work, just copy paste code A on top of code A, but modify the second code A to code B. That is basically the, I don't know, child code of code A that somehow makes code A work better because code B says to do this or something. Whatever the frick Rockstar does, they play Jenga with their codes as far as I'm concerned. They don't actually fix, they just stack and stack and stack, and the game shits itself when one code says something and everyone is like, what the f, and that's it. The game fucks up and game crashes and that's it. Congratulations, Rockstar, you know how to play with your codes. Now can you properly fix the game? And they patched another workaround for the agency god mode glitch. That is great. Now here's the biggest one that I would like to mention, in which numerous YouTubers out there have brought this up in their own separate video, that basically would like to state that Rockstar Games sincerely just does not care about the community, and I have to unfortunately agree with that. There's many things that players are suggesting in the feedback webpage that Rockstar strongly suggests to use if you wish to improve gameplay experiences for GTA Online, even though most of these gameplay experiences are anyways going towards GTA Plus subscribers rather than a proper quality of life update for all players to enjoy, such as a better garage for personal vehicles, or even a better way to repair, store, modify your vehicles, or collect your money from all of your businesses. Rockstar shoved all that to GTA Plus, so there's no giving a shit about anyone else other than GTA Plus, and that's why they get a very rich and super PP 1 week ahead of everyone else in GTA Online. And beyond all of these fixes, bugs, and everything else that players wish to ask for through the feedback webpage, Rockstar has the audacity to do the complete opposite of what we're suggesting, which is, of course, to patch a clothing glitch. For years, we've suggested or asked Rockstar to please modify or nerf the Oppressor Mark II, but during the while we were asking Rockstar to nerf the Oppressor Mark II, other vehicles having homing missiles and better capabilities, like the Sparrow and other vehicles started releasing, the Toreador, some scramjets, God knows, you name it, many vehicles were being released. Even the Kanjali came out at some point in time, and now is being used as the main go-to griefing weapon. And now that players finally started using the Oppressor Mark II less because they found pastures new, or they found other vehicles that seemed more superior to them, or they just gave up on the Oppressor Mark II because it got too boring finally because they were being made fun of for having a 12-inch dildo right up their ass pumping inside and out as they're flying their broomsticks left and right, killing everyone in sight, reloading in their terabyte coming out to kill more players. Finally, Rockstar is like, oh yeah, let's finally nerf the bike fucking 3 years later. But when it comes to small patches that no one ever asks for, a clothing glitch that in fact everyone is having fun with, combining masks and helmets together within days, within less than a week, Rockstar patches it on the spot. Doesn't matter what clothing glitch it is, they just patch it, in which something tells me, as a foreshadow for the near future, that Rockstar is planning on making these combinable clothing item workarounds, possibly for GTA Plus subscribers later on in GTA Online, when Rockstar comes up with a code that doesn't necessarily require you to have a patch, or they're just too lazy to mess around with the hundreds of thousands of clothing items they have in the game, just so that they can finally come up with the $1,000 code ultimatum that says players through GTA Plus, obviously they're going to make it through GTA Plus, I can guarantee you that. They're going to be able to make outfits that has both masks and helmets or hats combinable together. And that to me tells me the only reason why Rockstar would ever patch these clothing glitches. A very harmless quality of life update that's much more harmless than even the quality of life of update, where players could easily press one button on the app of their phone to claim all of their business earnings from their safes and whatnot. That's been shoved into GTA Plus. A 100 vehicle garage shoved to GTA Plus, a garage that not only lets you store 1,000 times more vehicles, but you can also modify them for free if you wish to, with unique colors, unique modifications, anything you would ever ask for, shoved to GTA Plus. And there are numerous YouTubers out there who look at these clothing glitches and literally wonder to themselves, does Rockstar even care about the community? Do they even care about us? Do they even look at our feedback that we are sending them on a daily basis? If they really cared, I'm going to tell you this right now, if they really cared, last year when they removed about almost 200 vehicles from in-game websites that I was always bringing up to their feedback on a daily basis, asking them to bring back those vehicles they wrongfully removed from us, that they hid behind paywalls, because it was something that Rockstar hid behind the paywall and they strongly held onto it like a girlfriend that they were scared of losing, because of course they're a bunch of virgins who just want to flash their money and give their pipistrello to her and freaking fuck her 4 times a day like they fuck the community fan base and of their fun and whatnot. It's all money related, and that's why Rockstar didn't want to invert or revert their decision that they've made with removing those vehicles. So obviously they don't care about the feedback as long as money is involved. So obviously, with no one asking to fix these clothing glitches, Rockstar is obviously gonna be like, oh, but maybe in the long run we might put that as a GTA Plus feature. So Rockstar's like, you know what, that's a good idea. Let's figure out a code while we can, and then meanwhile, whoever tries to find a workaround, let's just patch it. There are many more fixes Rockstar has to prioritize in GTA Online, especially the modding situation, especially the weak anti-cheat that they continue to refuse to ignore. You can tell me as many times as you want, telling me that Rockstar is doing their very best to update the anti-cheat. Sure, they're trying, quote unquote, but they don't try hard enough. They're actually not even trying at all. It feels like Rockstar's just sitting back and saying, I just want the war to come to me, until it becomes so overwhelming when everyone finally shows up to my door and says, you have to do this now, that they finally get off their asses and finally do something about it. Remember a couple years ago, or maybe months ago, there was a major RCE in GTA Online that was released by modders that allowed them to disguise themselves as actual Rockstar developers, that was able to brick accounts at will, that was able to remove all of their money at will, that was able to change their stats at will, that was able to modify their character layout at will, modify their information at will, modify whatever they wanted at will. Well, when players finally brought that up as a serious issue, Rockstar was like, oh man, modders had to go that far, now we have to fix the game. Dang. So they finally took a week to fix it, but they finally fixed it. And Rockstar, well, GTA Online in public lobbies became a little more safer. A little. I'm telling you, like a speck of dust. Like literally, Rockstar thinks these modders have asthma, who are allergic to microparticles of dust falling off of people's skin. How if they even sniffed it for 1 second, they would immediately back away and start sneezing endlessly and stop modding for a limited time. How Rockstar thinks of modders. But Rockstar, in the end, just lets these modders get to that point before they fix the game. And they still choose to not fix the game until they have to get to that point when everyone's complaining about it. But if one person complains about modding, Rockstar's like, we don't know anything. That doesn't bother us. We're fine. Of course it doesn't bother them. If it doesn't bother them, why would they give a crap? If it doesn't bother them, if it doesn't manipulate how much money they make on a daily basis from GTA Online, do you think they'll actually give a shit? They won't. Necessary fixes Rockstar has to do, they don't care about. They're like, no, that exists? No, that doesn't exist. whatever. That's an issue with your computer. Just send us information of your DXDiag or MSInfo file, so we'll investigate your issue further, because we believe you're the one who's allowing hackers in GTA Online. Dude, I got a comment from someone not too long ago who said they were playing GTA Online in a public lobby and their computer started having serious issues when they realized that there was a program that was open in the background that was installing file after file after file, that when they finally realized that it was already too late and they couldn't even have access to their computer anymore, they even tried accessing the computer's BIOS, but even that refused. I even told someone that I know who knows a lot about computers, and I just mentioned up until that point, when immediately he said, yep, the guy had access to his computer, deleted System 32. How could you fix it? Well, of course, you can reinstall System 32 and reconfigure the settings to the computer's needs, but you need a second computer to have control override of that computer to be able to reinstall System 32 in the hopes that everything works out to be fine. And all of that mess had to happen for being in a public lobby in GTA Online. And that mess could have been avoided if Rockstar developed proper anti-cheat, but to this day they refuse to care about that. What's more important to them is clothing glitches, because that could potentially make them more money off of GTA Plus microtransactions in the long run when they finally come up with merging masks and helmets and hats together. So one thing I gotta say about this, congratulations Rockstar for fucking the fan base once again, but that's all I want to say about this video, because I'm already making a long rant of something I enjoy ranting about, but at the same time pisses me off, but at the same time feels so satisfying to let off my shoulders, because that's how much Rockstar cares about their fan base. They just don't. They just want to say, oh, we just want your money, or go fuck yourself. Even if you pay them $1 million one day, the next day they're gonna forget they even got $1 million in the first place. They're gonna think, if we got $1 million that day, then the day after we're gonna get another $1 million plus an extra benefit for whatever reason. And the moment they start having a deficit in profit, that's when they're gonna start band waving people who have hundreds of millions of dollars in GTA, and that's supposedly not allowed to happen because they just want money from microtransactions. That's it. How dare you, Rockstar? Yeah, I know I turned some 8 minutes, rant and ramble into a 20-minute discussion of how Rockstar just doesn't give a crap about the players. Whatever bothers them, honestly, which is money. That's why they fix clothing glitches. But if it's something that's necessary to be fixed to enhance gameplay experience, such as fixing modding, will Rockstar ever do that? No. 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 It's not gonna make us money in the long run. We don't see how that's gonna make us money. It's not. It's not. I refuse to believe it. No, we don't need to fix it. Let the players suffer, but we're going to keep turning a blind eye because we support modding. We support these little broken shits that, exist in our game left and right. But clothing glitches, no, we got to fix that right now, because that's going to save us hundreds of dollars in the long run when we do make these quote-unquote clothing glitches a feature for GTA Plus members. Anyways, that's all I want to say about this video. Hope you guys did find this informative, or if you even stay tuned till the end. But as far as I'm concerned, Rockstar needs to get their priorities straightened up. If you guys want to check out my Twitch, if you want to leave a follow, go right ahead. I'll leave the link of my Twitch in the description below. If you want to check out my previous weekly updates or news videos of the past 2 weeks, I will put those links in the description below as well. But as far as I'm concerned, that's all I really want to rant about before I continue on for another 3 hours of Rockstar's bullshit. Because honestly, I don't support it myself, not one bit. But that's all I'm going to say for now. Hope you guys did find this informative in any way, shape, or form. And thank you for watching. And if you did enjoy, if you did find this relatable, if you want to share it with your friends, go right ahead. I'm not forcing you. It costs you nothing. But the support is always appreciated altogether. But thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. And good luck out there.